Hi guys, Fulvio here from Felletti's. I'm preparing this video today from Bangkok. I've been here for the last 3 days. I've been 3 good days of business. I've been meeting a few of the big guys. You know that I'm working in the beverage industry, fast-moving consumer goods industry, so the usual suspects. And it's always interesting to see that it doesn't really matter if companies are very big and with plenty of resources. We all go through the same kind of leadership issues and leadership challenges, and of course trying to take advantage of the usual leadership opportunities that are out there for all of us. Now, what I wanted to talk to you today, it's pretty much on the line of one of the sessions that I had a few months ago at the American Chamber of Commerce of Singapore, and it was about the micromanage yourself out of mediocrity into awesomeness. What's this all about? Well, in the years, depending on how many years you are or how many years you have been through very exciting times and very challenging times. And I want to talk to you today about what I learned going through my challenging times and the best ways that I use for myself and for my clients to coach them in getting out of those challenging times as quickly as possible. So, well, let me start with a story. Back about 3 years ago, I decided to step outside of the corporate environment. It was the year 2014, end of 2014, and to start my own business. Clearly, I did prepare for that step, although it was clear to me that you were never going to be prepared enough. And anyway, fast forward, the usual journey of any entrepreneur, the first few weeks and months, a lot of adrenaline in your body, you are ready to embrace the challenge and you go, and the first few steps are so encouraging and every little thing that happens is so exciting. And then what happens is that slowly the challenges start becoming very evident, and not the challenges that you could foresee, but actually all the unexpected. And anyway, when you start piling up one after the other, it becomes quite evident that you are hitting some roadblocks. And this is what happened to me. It was the year 2015. We just incorporated the company. I was doing too many things, many things, and basically comes the month of May, and I find myself having done a hell of a lot of a job. A lot of activities, spent some money, but not seeing enough traction, and definitely the most evident thing, not seeing enough revenue coming through. So that, together with a few important news, some were related to healthcare or member of the family, some others were related to very good news coming through. I just learned in the time, actually it was July, August, by the time that actually my wife was expecting a baby. And anyway, I found myself in a very challenging place. And it wasn't challenging because there were things that I couldn't face. I think I could face most things, but it was that energy that I had at the very beginning that was no longer there. And I was really pushing myself every single day to do the right things, the things that I knew were right. And so it was that I needed to figure out how to get out of that impasse. And the thing that I've done were pretty much going back and seeing in my life, whenever I was in that position, what was the best way in which I managed to, first of all, realize that I was falling into a state of low energy, mediocrity, not inspiring attitude, and then trying to replicate those things and trying to get out of that as quickly as possible. So while I was digging out all the material that I had coming from the last 25 years, I found a piece of paper that I have here with me. And that piece of paper was basically the one that became the vision board, but was pretty much a sort of list of commandments. So it would look like that. Let me read it out. This was written, actually I wrote this in 2005, August 2005. And it's written in Italian, but I would say new commandments. Number one, there are 11, and it says, number one, always bring to the end everything that you start, from the important things all the way through to the futile. Number two, use determination in everything you do. Number three, never give yourself limits or barriers, but always think big. Number four, think through before you do one step. Think carefully before you do one step, evaluating pros and cons. However, once you do your first step, do not have regrets. Number five, in every situation, try to be an actor and not to be a spectator. Number six, be honest to yourself and to others. Number seven, expect from yourself always the maximum, and do not accept poor results. Number eight, make sure that what you look like is what you are, and what you are is what you look like. The image that you give to other people should be the truth and not a lie. Number nine, if you're ashamed of something, do not hide it, because it is going to dig more and more into the wounds that is going to leave, and is not going to let yourself to heal and to find actually your peace. Number 10, allow more time of the day to action in order to transform dreams into reality. And finally, number 11, when problems become bigger and bigger and you feel overwhelmed, do not surrender. Reorganize your ideas and restart and attack higher, stronger, with more conviction. So I was reading through this list and I realized that basically the way I dealt with moments of weakness and how they define it, it's a mediocrity, it's really to try and clear my mind from hesitations. Stop thinking through, list down what you believe you should do, turn this what you believe you should do into what you must do, and start adopting these like laws that you are not allowed to break. And all of a sudden you start stopping asking yourself whether you should or you shouldn't do certain things. At least you give yourself some clarity on the most important things that you're facing. So to give you an example, when I found myself in this situation, I was back in the month of July, August 2015. There were a few things that were very clear in my mind that I couldn't just stop doing. So first of all, reaching out to clients and prospects and pitching, that was very important. Do not stop in developing the product. I couldn't stop developing the product or thinking, okay, I'm gonna just take a sabbatical and I'm gonna wait. No, actually, I was the main contributor to the company. I'm the only contributor to the company. So if I stop and I take holiday, nothing's gonna happen. So I can't afford that. I just need to keep banging and asking for more help. And therefore, another thing that was very clear to me was that my wife and my family would have needed more and more from me, not less and less. So accepting defeat, accepting the things would have taken a lot longer wasn't gonna be an option. So I really had to work harder with more conviction. Clarify was very easy to understand. Clarify what was valuable for my clients, and start communicating that over and over again, and clearly for a price point which was worth. But I wouldn't enter too much into the entrepreneurial aspect of that, but that was the transition. Another important thing that I realized I had to do was focusing a little bit more, actually a lot more, on my fitness. I was letting myself down. I restarted walking. I restarted doing activity. And so things started happening. Within a few weeks, I managed to win my first proper deal, and then another, and we managed basically to get that revenue that was putting me in a more comfortable position, and at least to be a support to my wife. My wife ended up, by the way, having some more issues during her pregnancy, so I was doing everything while going in and out of the hospital and taking care of her. Having said that, reality always kicks in, and you always are tested to understand whether you really mean what you're doing, whether you really care about what you're doing. In fact, in that very time in which I managed to get out of my state of mediocrity, using my commandment list and sticking to my guns, I started having basically everything happening to me. Breaking my leg, wife ended up longer times than expected in the hospital. Father ended up to the hospital as well. All the entire family having issues. Oh my God, all of a sudden everything was going wrong. But I had to say that if I didn't have the strength and the clarity of mind to put together a list of things that for sure I needed to stick to, it would have been a lot more difficult, and probably I would have been a lot closer to giving up. Now, fast forward, things continued. I managed to write the book, go through the publishing phase, go through the design phase, and then publish the book in the month of February 2016. In the meantime, we had a few more headaches to deal with, but again, I think that having this clarity was very, very important. So, lessons learned. If you find yourself in a state of mediocrity, and I have written an article about that, I've run a number of sessions, and you can find these in the notes to the video. But as I was saying, lessons learned. Try, in a moment of state of mediocrity, first of all, try to realize how is your state. Are you in the right place with the right state of mind? If yes, fine. If not, then you need to take action. The best way to realize that? Well, first thing, start asking yourself a couple of questions for a time period of about 1 to 2 weeks. And first question would be, how am I feeling? What are my emotions? If you ask yourself 2 to 3 times a day, how are you feeling? How are your emotions? And you take note of this on a piece of paper that you always bring with you, then over time you will realize if your state of mind is always negative, pessimistic, is always a state of mind anxious and stressed, and you keep taking note of this 2 to 3 times a day for a couple of weeks, you will have a very important document just in your hands telling you that things aren't going to be happy. You have to change something. Another important question that you need to ask yourself is whether the environment in which you are is an environment in which you enjoy staying, motivating environment in which you feel at ease with yourself. The same, you need to ask it for people surrounding you. Is the network of people that is surrounding me the right one or not? Am I motivated or am I depressed at the end of the day spending time with these people? If yes, stick to it. If not, things need to change. When you have too many no's to these questions or too many negative feedback to these questions, and you have everything collected for a couple of weeks in your hands, use that document. Don't sleep on it. Take action on it, because that is telling you if the feedbacks are negative, that you are in a state of mediocrity and you want to get out of that as soon as possible. So once you realize that that is the case, make sure that you stop having hesitations and being in doubt to yourself. Doubting yourself is just an effect of the state of mediocrity, driven by environment, driven by people, driven by activities that you're doing. It may be driven by your career choice. It may be driven by personal choice related to family matters. Whatever it is pushing you to a state of mediocrity. You need to get out of that and get out as soon as possible. The way to get out, write down your list of commandments. List down the questions and the problems that you're facing. Start asking yourself, looking at the piece of paper, if that is what you're going through, if that is emotionally what you're going through, then what is causing that? Once you list down the problems that you're facing, start looking for solutions to those problems. To be honest, we all know the solutions. Most of the times, we all know the solutions. Deep in our heart, we know the solutions. The reason why we don't follow is simply because we have doubt, and the doubt is caused by our state of mind. And if you really don't know the solution, first of all, there are mountains of books on self-improvement. There are mountain motivational speaker and coach available to you, sometimes free of charge. Sometimes you need to pay something. I'm not advocating me to be your coach. I'm just saying that there are so many people that are ready to help as long as you start looking for them. Try to make sure that people that are trying to help are seriously interested in listening to you and understanding you before giving you out of the box advices. That is not going to make the cut. They need to be able to listen to you. They need to be able to see what you're willing to share, and then asking you questions and helping you think things through. Anyway, once you have that list, so you understand your problem, you figure out that things need to change. You understand your problems. You have a good conversation. You've done your research on what you need to do in order to answer those problems. Then list down your list of commandments. All things that you need to stick to in order to create good habits that is going to help you getting out of that state of mediocrity. And that's it. Stick to your guns until you get out. You can have reviews. Of course, you need to have your reviews. So ask the same questions maybe 1 month or 2 months after, and see whether the state of mind is still negative. If it is, then things need to change. Ask for different kind of questions to the problems that you have identified. Reach out to people. But don't stop, okay? Here you go. There are many other tricks. So you can write a vision board. I know there is so much said about vision boarding. I can just tell you that it did help me. Actually, I've got my commandments on one side, my vision board on the other side. Reality is that, well, this is coming through the research that I've done. Everyone needs to find the tools that are best for you to motivate yourself and to get out of your state of negative state of mind. Of course, if you focus on your fitness, it's never wrong. If you get fit, if you do your physical activity, you take care of your health, your state of mind will start shifting. You push more energy in your body, you will have better hormones released into your body that ultimately is going to trigger different reaction, and is going to help you see the reality in the world in a completely different light. Okay, I hope this was helpful. So what about myself? Here in Bangkok, I'm soon gonna get ready. I need to check out in the next 15 minutes, and then I will probably have a look around here in Bangkok. Bangkok is an amazing city. If you haven't been here, you should come. I will include some videos and some pictures from the areas where I've been. I've been in a place called Sukhumvit, which is bang in the middle of Bangkok. And then I'm going to the airport. I will be probably working a little bit and doing emails out of the airport, and then getting ready for my flight back home to my lovely family. I will probably have also a call later in the night and get ready for a very early morning call as well. But again, I'm doing it because I know it's gonna help me, my company, to get better. And ultimately my family, all people that I care for. Okay, I hope this was helpful, and please reach out, like, forward, share, and tell your friends about this video if you think that is helpful. If you think that more need to be said, for sure, more need to be said, please do leave me your comments. I look forward to it. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye.